I'm here in a Tuk Tuk tour, or Tuk Tuk.
Tuk Tuk tour.
With Oli, you are the owner?
One of 3 owners, yes.
So when did this idea start of doing this in Iceland?
Well, we were traveling in India and thought it would be a great idea. And a friend of mine, Glumur, had brought electric tuk-tuks to Iceland. And so I started researching that, and we found a factory in the Netherlands that did electric tuk-tuks, limo tuk-tuks like this one for 6 passengers. And that's where the process started.
So this is quite luxurious. It's not what you'd maybe always imagine a tuk-tuk to be.
Not at all. Usually tuk-tuks that people know of in Asia, for example, are gasoline, diesel, usually old motorcycles that have that they put a space for 2 passengers in the back and go out and go with guests.
So how long has this been going on here in Iceland?
We started about 2 weeks ago, so it's brand new, and it's our first full month now, the month of June. So it's all getting started, and so far so good.
So it's going good?
It's going fine. We've just started advertising. We've started collaborating with Elding Whale Watching with a combination tour of whale watching, city sightseeing, and the Whale Museum, and are now in most hotels with brochures and flyers, and I think it's going off just fine. Yeah.
So you do a city tour. What does it consist of?
Well, we try to do we try to put together a tour that is a little bit different because of the size of the tuks. We can go to the smaller streets where bigger buses can't get to. So we go to Grande area. We go to the Rock Village, which is the oldest part in Reykjavik, up in the Thingholt, and we try to go the narrow streets, look at some architecture, the history of both the houses and who lived there, and try to do it a little bit different than just going to the normal tourist attractions that everybody else goes to.
Is it like a hop-on, hop-off style?
No, we have 2 types of tours at the moment. We're always looking at new ideas of what to do, but we have 2 tours now. One is 30-minute small city center tour, and the other one is 75 minutes or hour and 15 minutes, and that's our longer tour.
This is exactly the part where I was getting stuck the other day with my bicycle and one of your tuk-tuks.
Is that a bad thing? Or?
It was really good. I was like, what is this? It made Iceland a different landscape to me.
Absolutely, and we've had a lot of people going, what the? But it's been interesting to see people and hear from people what they think about it. Now we've been very visible for approximately 2 weeks, and even though in the beginning, when not with many guests, the drivers are still driving around the city and enjoying and learning how to drive them, because it's still a bit tricky.
So what is it like to drive them?
Well, it's fantastic. They say they have at least a lot of fun with it, and they seem to be most of the time out driving somewhere. So it's very simple. You have forward and you have backwards, and because it's electric, when you're backing up, you have the same sound as the big trucks, the beep beep sound. So it's not to surprise anyone when backing up, but yeah, they seem to enjoy it at least, and the passengers seem to enjoy it too. So
I'm on it. It's really fun.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a ride.
It is a ride, and I mean you can still see. Usually our guide would now be telling us something interesting, probably more interesting than I'm saying, but you're getting the special tour, so.
I heard I'm getting a VIP tour.
You're getting a VIP treatment, yeah, with Adam, our guide today. So.
Maybe Adam wants to tell us where we are.
Right now we're driving through the old harbor, right by the CCP headquarters. And I'm about to take you to Þúfan, or the Hummock, which is a piece of art by Ólaf Nordal.
You have a good driver.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, doesn't he?
How do you work out like what you're going to be showing and what's interesting?
Well, one of my co-owners, Kolbeinn, he's the one who wrote out the tour in the beginning, and he's a bit of a history nerd and architecture and the history of the city center, and then we expect the drivers to show a little bit of an initiative and add some quirky facts and things that they find out, and the more they drive, the more they figure out fun parts.
And so I think this is also kind of a really different way of seeing Reykjavík. A lot of tourists come here and they only see just really Skólavörðustígur and Laugavegur.
Well, that's the thing. It's I have a hotel myself, and when people are asking what should they go see, and it's Hallgrímskirkja, Skólavörðustígur, Laugavegur, that tight area. Here they get to see Grandi, they get to see where the fishing vessels bring in the fish to the market. They get to see the quirky houses, the oldest part. So things that you usually wouldn't see even by foot. So and we covered such a great area in the 75 minutes that you basically can then just choose what you want to see again and what you want to inspect better. So
you're just kind of even giving like a bit of a taster of Reykjavík and kind of a bigger area of Reykjavík than other people see.
Absolutely, and we have a lot of tourists today are coming to Reykjavík, and they're just spending one day in Reykjavík, either in the beginning or the end of their holiday, and then they go travel around the country, or have booked Golden Circle tours or whatever the other days. So they usually have a very limited time in Reykjavík. So we like to give them a very quick hour and 15 minutes tour of the main attractions. And then they're well oriented where they are in the city afterwards, and can go and discover on their own other parts. But yeah.
So you have a hotel, and now you're doing this Tuk Tuk thing. So you know quite a lot about tourism and maybe what tourists are looking for in Iceland.
Well, that was one of the biggest reasons for me going forward with this project, and along with my partners, is that when telling people what to do in Reykjavik, I kind of didn't know of anything quirky and fun and different. It was just the same old, okay, you go whale watching, you do always the same thing, and you're always recommending the same thing. And people that are here for maybe a week, they do 6 bus tours, and when they're in Reykjavik, they don't want to be sitting on a bus on the 7th day. So we wanted to do something completely different. And since 80 something percent of all guests that come to Iceland come here because of the clean air and the nature and so on, we thought what better than to bring in an eco-friendly option for a guest to enjoy.
So how is this eco-friendly?
Well, it's electric. It's fully electric, and this Dutch company was the first one in Europe to make these tuk-tuks fully electric. So,
and that's important for you then?
Very, very important. I mean, that's pretty much the way. If we could, if it goes our way, we want to have nothing but tuk-tuks in the city center, at least in Iceland, and the cars can stay out. But maybe someday.
Well, you know, what I was kind of worried about was that it's always windy in Iceland. And I was like, I'm just going to blow off this thing. But it looks pretty wind-proof.
It's very windproof, and these tuks were specially made pretty much for the Icelandic climate. We got heating in the seats, and then the colors we chose were the yellow and black. The black really keeps that little sun we get here and keeps the heat inside, so you don't get cold. And very windproof, and you don't notice the wind outside at all. You can still hear the driver or the guide. So yeah. Very sturdy.
Very sturdy. Adam, do you want to tell us a bit more about where?
Right now we're driving through the old Vesturbær, or the west part of town, where all the sailors would build their houses and stuff like that. And we're about to head up Stýrimannavegur, Stýrimannastigar, I'm sorry, where the captains of the fishing vessels would build their ginormous houses, their beautiful houses.
Is it not hard to talk and drive?
No, it isn't. I grew up in this town, and so I know all the streets, and so it kind of just comes easily to me.
So for a lot of Icelandic people, there's kind of, types of tourists. It used to be more that it was really adventurous people who are going up the mountains. Are you noticing a different type of tourism?
It's much more of a mix now. Summertime tourism is very mixed group. With the cruise liners, you have older couples coming with those, but they're usually here only for a day or so. And then it's basically all sorts in wintertime, in summertime, and in wintertime it's more Northern Lights. Huge Asian population that comes here in wintertime, but adventures, I guess everybody's pretty adventurous one way or another. If it's going up a glacier or going on a Tuk Tuk tour, both are equally adventurous, in my opinion.
I think you should do Northern Lights Tuk Tuk tours.
Well, there you go. One more idea in the hat, but something we have a few months to think about, and absolutely. I mean, the Northern Lights can be seen from, for example, Grótta, where we can go with the tuk-tuks very easily. So something to look at.
So where do we find information about the tuk-tuk if our listeners would like to go for a tour?
Well, you can go on our website, which is www.ttt.is or tuktuktours.is, or they can just come down to the Harpa Music Hall and see us down there, and we're always there, and just hop on a tour.
And how much does it cost?
For the 30-minute tour, the small city center tour, it's 5,000 kroners per adult. And for the hour and 15 minutes, it's 7,500.
How many people can sit here? Like 6?
6 passengers in each tuk-tuk, yes.
Thank you so much for talking to me today. I'm really enjoying this ride.
Well, we have some left, so it was a pleasure having you as our guest here.